What if I told you that everything you've been taught about confidence is wrong? That the polite smiles, the fake affirmations, and the shallow pep talks will never make you powerful. True confidence, the kind that bends reality, influences people, and forces the world to pay attention, comes from something much darker, much deeper, and much more dangerous. And that's exactly what we're going to uncover today through the timeless wisdom of Niccolò Machiavelli. Machiavelli was not a motivational speaker. He wasn't trying to make you feel good about yourself. He was trying to show you how power really works, stripped of illusions, stripped of morality, stripped of excuses. His lessons are raw, uncomfortable, but brutally effective. And if you dare to internalize them, you will never look at confidence the same way again. Let's begin with the first principle. Confidence is not about being liked, it's about being respected. Most people confuse confidence with charm. They think if everyone smiles at them, praises them, or approves of them, they must be confident. But Machiavelli would laugh at this. He wrote, "It is much safer to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." What does this mean in modern life? It means you don't need the approval of the crowd to move forward. You don't need every friend, every colleague, or every stranger to like you. You need them to respect you enough to not stand in your way. Think about it. The leaders you admire, the bosses who left a mark, the figures from history who changed the world, they weren't loved by everyone. In fact, many were hated, but they carried themselves with such undeniable authority that love or hate didn't matter. People followed them anyway. That is dangerous confidence. Now, how do you build this kind of confidence for yourself? Machiavelli gives us a clue. Control your image, not your feelings. You see, the mistake most people make is thinking confidence is about how you feel inside. They chase feelings. Do I feel confident today? Do I feel ready? Do I feel good about myself? Machiavelli would call this foolish, because feelings are unstable. They change with sleep, mood, weather, rejection, or failure. If your confidence depends on feelings, then it is weak and temporary. Instead, Machiavelli teaches us to focus on perception. People cannot see inside your chest. They cannot measure your heartbeat or your anxiety. They can only see how you present yourself. If you speak slowly, maintain steady eye contact, and act decisively, people will label you confident, even if you're trembling inside. And here's the secret. Once people believe you're confident, you start to believe it too. Perception reshapes reality. Let me give you an example. Imagine two men enter a room. One is nervous but controls his posture, keeps his chin up, and speaks clearly. The other man is actually calm inside, but slouches, avoids eye contact, and mumbles. Who will the room see as more confident? Obviously, the first one. That's Machiavelli's point. Confidence is a mask, and when you wear it well, it becomes who you are. Now here's where it gets dangerous. Confidence without boundaries becomes arrogance. Machiavelli warns us that arrogance creates enemies faster than anything else. The key is balance. Show enough confidence that people take you seriously, but not so much that they see you as a threat too soon. It's a dance between dominance and subtlety. He gives another principle. Appear virtuous, but act strategically. In today's language, this means you don't have to reveal every intention. Dangerous confidence comes from controlling what others see while secretly moving your plans forward. Don't confuse honesty with weakness. Yes, be honest about your values, but never expose your vulnerabilities carelessly. Confidence grows when people realize they cannot predict or manipulate you. And here's a truth that stings. Confidence requires risk. Machiavelli observed that fortune favors the bold, not the hesitant. You cannot build dangerous confidence by sitting quietly, waiting for the right moment. You must act. sometimes without full certainty, sometimes stepping into chaos. Every risk you take, even if you fail, trains your mind to handle fear. And when you realize fear cannot destroy you, confidence becomes your natural state. So let me ask you, are you ready to stop chasing approval, stop waiting for perfect moments, and start carrying yourself with dangerous confidence? Because once you begin, people will feel it. They may not love you, but they will respect you. And in Machiavelli's world, respect is power. This is just the beginning. In the next part, we'll dive deeper into Machiavelli's ruthless strategies for building authority, mastering influence, and creating an unshakable aura of confidence that will change the way you walk into every room. Machiavelli understood something most people never dare to admit. Human beings are not driven by kindness or fairness, but by self-interest, fear, and desire. If you want to be dangerously confident, you must strip away the illusion that the world rewards good intentions. The world rewards strength, strategy, and the ability to control perceptions. Machiavelli believed that people are predictable in their weaknesses, and if you learn to read these weaknesses, you can influence anyone. He argued that it is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both, because fear creates respect and prevents betrayal, while love is fragile and easily broken. This does not mean you should become cruel or heartless, but it means you must understand the psychology of power. Confidence comes when you no longer worry about being liked by everyone, but instead focus on commanding respect. Imagine walking into a room where everyone is trying to be agreeable, to be accepted. They lower their voices, they soften their opinions, they bend themselves to fit in. Machiavelli would tell you that this is weakness disguised as politeness. To be dangerously confident, you must do the opposite. You must embrace clarity in your words, firmness in your body language, and a willingness to stand apart. When you stop seeking approval, you free yourself from the invisible chains that hold most people down. Confidence is not about arrogance. It is about understanding the game and playing it with intent. If others are driven by insecurity, let that insecurity work in your favor. Speak less, observe more, and when you finally act, your actions will carry more weight because they are deliberate, not desperate. Machiavelli also taught that appearances are often more important than reality. People rarely see the truth. They see the version of truth you project. This is why confidence is largely a performance. If you look certain, if you sound certain, if you move with certainty, people will believe in your power, even if inside you are still learning. He would advise you to cultivate the art of presence, the ability to hold space in such a way that others feel your authority without you ever needing to demand it. Dangerous confidence comes from mastering this illusion, appearing unshakable even when storms rage inside. Over time, the illusion becomes reality, because repetition of confidence breeds genuine power. The more you practice behaving like someone who cannot be broken, the harder it will be for life to break you. Another crucial principle is control of emotions. Machiavelli knew that leaders who are slaves to anger, fear, or greed destroy themselves. Confidence does not mean you never feel fear, but it means you refuse to show it. When you stay calm while others panic, you instantly gain influence. People instinctively follow the one who looks like they know what to do. So if you want dangerous confidence, master silence, master stillness, master patience. These are weapons sharper than any sword. In every confrontation, the one who controls their emotions controls the outcome. Machiavelli would remind you that the battlefield is not just outside. It is within your own mind. If you can conquer yourself, you can conquer anyone. Now let's go deeper into the psychology of Machiavelli's ideas and how you can actually apply them in your real life to build unshakable confidence. One of his strongest principles was the concept of perception. He believed that power often does not lie in what you actually are, but in what people believe you are. Think about it. If people see you as confident, intelligent, and strong, they will treat you as such, even if deep inside you still have doubts. This is why Machiavelli stressed the importance of appearances. If you walk into a room with your shoulders straight, voice calm, and eyes steady, people will assume you are in control. Confidence is not about eliminating fear. It is about mastering the art of appearing fearless. And over time, when you consistently act with that image, you start to believe it yourself. This is the dangerous part. Confidence begins to shape your reality. You no longer fake it, you become it. Machiavelli also highlighted that people admire decisiveness. Most individuals in the world are uncertain, hesitant, or constantly second-guessing themselves. But when you speak with clarity and conviction, even if you are wrong, people will follow you. Why? Because human beings crave leadership and direction. Confidence is attractive because it makes others feel secure. If you hesitate, they hesitate. If you move forward boldly, they follow. This is exactly why Machiavelli advised rulers to be bold in action and firm in decision. The same applies in your everyday life. If you want to be dangerously confident, stop apologizing for every little thing, stop asking for unnecessary permissions, and start owning your choices. Speak less, but when you speak, let your words carry weight. Another crucial lesson from Machiavelli is the control of emotions. He warned that excessive kindness, uncontrolled anger, or visible fear can be used against you. People will exploit your emotional weaknesses the moment they see them. Confidence is not about never feeling emotions. It is about managing them so that they don't dominate you. Imagine someone insults you in front of others. The average person would get defensive or angry, but the Machiavellian way is to stay calm, smile slightly, and let the silence do the work. This unnerves your opponent because they expected a reaction. That kind of control is true power. When people realize that nothing easily shakes you, they begin to respect and even fear you. And that fear combined with respect makes you dangerously confident. Machiavelli also believed in the importance of adaptability. Life is unpredictable. A confident person is not someone who sticks stubbornly to one plan, even when it's failing, but someone who adjusts quickly, takes new paths, and turns obstacles into opportunities. This adaptability gives you a unique advantage because most people panic in uncertainty. Imagine you're in a meeting and a problem suddenly arises. Everyone is stressed, but you remain calm and suggest an alternative solution. At that moment, you become the natural leader, not because of your title, but because of your ability to handle chaos. That is dangerous confidence. It is born from preparation, adaptability, and emotional mastery. But here's a truth most people miss. Machiavelli never encouraged blind arrogance. He knew that overconfidence can destroy you if it blinds you to reality. Dangerous confidence is not stupidity. It is calculated power. It is about appearing strong, acting decisive, but still being aware of risks. Confidence without awareness is recklessness, and that always leads to downfall. True confidence is when you know your strengths, accept your weaknesses, and still move forward without hesitation. This balance is what separates a ruler from a fool, a leader from a follower. But here's where the real transformation happens. Confidence is not just about appearing strong, it's about cultivating a mindset where setbacks don't shake you. Think about it. Most people panic when they face rejection, when someone says no, when a plan fails. But Machiavelli would say, that's exactly where power is tested. If you can keep your composure, keep strategizing, and move like nothing happened, you become untouchable. Because the world is full of people who break at the first sign of resistance. And the one who doesn't break automatically stands out as a leader. Confidence, in Machiavellian terms, is a weapon. And like any weapon, it requires practice. You sharpen it daily by small acts, by speaking slower, by holding eye contact, by refusing to overshare, by creating an aura of self-reliance. And the irony, when you act like you don't need validation, that's when people start running to validate you. They start chasing your approval because your silence feels heavier than their noise. Now, let's address the final truth. The danger of confidence is that it intimidates. People will test you, doubt you, even hate you, because deep down, your presence reminds them of their own lack of control. But this is exactly why Machiavelli insisted on balancing power with perception. You can be feared, yes, but never reckless. You can be respected, yes, but never predictable. The key is to project strength without arrogance, certainty without rigidity, charm without desperation. Think about your own life. The opportunities you missed weren't because you lacked skill. They slipped away because you hesitated, because you waited for permission. But imagine, from this point on, you walk into every room like you belong there. You speak like your words have weight. You move like your path is already carved. That's not arrogance. That's the psychology of power. Here's the final Machiavellian principle to lock in your dangerous confidence. Always appear unshaken. Even if you're uncertain, never let it show. Even if you're figuring things out behind the scenes, make your front unbreakable. Because perception shapes reality. And if the world believes you're unstoppable, doors open that you never even knew existed. So when this video ends, don't just nod and forget. Test it. Tomorrow, hold eye contact 2 seconds longer than usual. Walk slower. Speak with deliberate pauses. Don't explain yourself unnecessarily. Watch how people lean in, how they adjust to your energy, and then realize it's not them changing. It's you finally stepping into the space you always had the right to own. This is the power of Machiavelli. This is the psychology of confidence. And if you master it, the world won't just listen to you, it will follow you.